get on with it. Let's get on with it. Oh, I have to go all the way around. I see, I see. This really is a good game. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Oh god. Fucking phone. Just trying to turn it on. That's it. That's all I tried to do. Sorry, hit my mic on accident. Oh, I need a massage. That's for sure. I can't wait to have my own mini fridge too, by the way. Honestly though, it'd just be a lot easier to get drinks and shit like that too. Obviously. I was thinking about getting a mini freezer too eventually. But at the same time, maybe not. I don't know. It's not really that important to have one. But the reason why I was saying that now was because of, for example, for, you know, drinks that are not very good. I mean, I guess it's not, I mean, I guess it would be fine, but, you know, since let's say I was drinking water, for example, right? I would like ice and stuff, maybe we wouldn't have ice in the freezer. It'd just be easier to, like, put ice in it pretty simply. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm drinking G Fuel right now. Or, you know, I have G Fuel. But I can't drink that shit by itself. I need to have ice in it, so it's cold. That's the problem with me, like, a lot of different drinks. It's like, I only drink it if it's cold, you know? There's not really any drinks that are good that are warm. Like, at all. Or not even necessarily warm, like, hot or anything. Just, like, in between, like, cold and warm. I just can't do it. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, mini freezer isn't that important anyway, regardless. But, you know, it would definitely be easier, for sure. But I think a mini fridge would be more better anyway, because I can just put drinks in there in general. And I feel like that's more important. There's contracts here, and I've never even I haven't even ever touched a contract board before until now, so we're doing it.
Astounding place.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is find Father Justinius.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desardet. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
Ask him about the stolen
The Mother
tablets.
Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I wondered how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. Father.
I'm glad to...
Ask about the creation.
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Mateus, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why is the guy so peace and harmony, but anybody else part of the same group are dickheads? Like...
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
Jesus. Okay.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Mateus. That helped to convince them.
That probably is true.
And how well have neighboring villagers welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But
by torture, most of you guys are doing torture.
For the miracle of
like, even if this guy's not, everyone else in this fucking group does.
Nobody thought we could live side by side with
torture
your
people to get them in your religion. Well, probably because you're torturing them still.
May the enlightened always keep you in their
oh, we can convert them. Let's torture them. Like, that has to be the dumbest decision in the world. You want people to join your group. Let's torture them in joining the group. Which, I mean, if they're at young age, sure, that can exist. But torturing them at mostly 20s, however old they are, usually they're in their... I mean, like, sure, some of them are young, but, you know, some of them are older anyway, and they're torturing them, basically. It's just not... It doesn't really sound right.
The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have
But they're not torturing them as, like, little kids, or... Not, you don't have to torture them when they're little kids. You just gotta just teach them into the religion, you know, force them into the religion,
he told
basically.
Me that you were supervising the theologians here.
It's just like, bruh.
It is
Literally just made a video about this, like, a week ago. Oh, shit. Ask her whom the subjects of being the thief.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Oh, alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Mateus later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to. But I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
Ask who's guarding them.
I imagine that someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
Care to talk about Eden's creation?
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village has been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
Ask about natives' reaction
What
to
was
their
the
arrival.
reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
For how long?
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful.
How long will that last?
Thank you. I will let you work.
I feel like it's not a very long time, but then again, who knows?
If you are saying that these tablets bear writings from the very hand of our holy founder,
Hold on.
then we must find them.
Investigate the theft.
All our research to trace the life of Saint Matthias on this island.
Greetings. Desade. I'm handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
Talk about the stolen
According
tablets.
to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
Ask him about the night of the theft. Then we just... I guess we
What
didn't
can
do
you
it.
tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No,
I feel like you should
nothing in
answer
particular.
that within that question.
The night
but-
was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea.
Sorry.
The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
There's somebody from the inside.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure.
I'm gonna mute my mic in
Is it is
between
not one of
because I'm
us.
eating these
Well,
and I don't want to chew.
Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here, and the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
Ask him about the relations with the natives. Ask him about the mission with the natives.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about St. Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Of course. I will leave you to your work. There's only one entrance, and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep.
Exactly.
So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened. But someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that
Well,
this
most
theft
definitely.
could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village.
Probably.
Family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who's close to the exiles.
Probably a
and enough about the
mother of a
researchers to
son
inform
that
them.
left that was a warrior. Something like that. Most likely. Because there is not a back door or anything, so it's literally just one door. No windows or anything either, so... the only thing that could possibly be it is literally what I said.